Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Happy New Year to you all. I hope you're all okay. And today in this video I'm going to do every day fresh. It's New Year's, we wanted to be recharged, reset, and we're going to do the most kind of like a clean girl, no makeup look to make everything looking fresh and ready for the new year after all the festivities with alcohol, loads of chocolate and everything else. So we'll go straight into it. So with everything I'm doing, I'm not really going to be showing what the exact products are, like the brands or anything, but I'll just kind of explain the techniques and everything else that I'm doing with it. So first of all, with the base, I actually got this from Alana Davison, who enjoy watching with her like no makeup look, keeping nice fresh, keeping it simple, making it just look like skin. And that's going to be a mixture of concealer and moisturizer, but I'm going to mix it up just a little bit, and I'm also going to add in a little bit of some Halo Glow just to kind of keep up that dewiness. So I've just put a dollop of everything on my hand, as you can see, and I'm literally just going to mix it all in together so it becomes this really nice dewy consistency. This way we're going to keep the skin hydrated, especially because my skin has not been kind to me over the last few weeks and I've had a fair few breakouts. So this with the moisturizer is just going to keep everything hydrated, but it's going to make everything so much lighter because you're actually putting in less product compared to what you are with the moisturizer. So I'm just going to pop it across my face in the areas especially where I want the moisturizer to help with any dryness that I've got. And then the rest I'm just popping my hand. I'm actually just going to rub it very lightly into the skin, across the eyes, on the forehead. So basically like how you would treat any normal moisturizer, making sure you're getting it across the neck and just moisturize. I'm only going to do it a little bit because then what we're going to do after is I'm just going to grab a beauty blender, and then anything where it may look like a little bit patchy is where you'll just dab in very slowly, nice and across. And this as well is just going to help press it into the skin a little bit more. Now, if you're like me and have breakouts or any kind of scarring or anything that you're maybe wanting to get rid of a little bit more, as we put on a bit more of a light coverage, I'm just going to go over with concealer just on those bits, just again kind of blend it in, but I still want it to look skin-like, so I'm not going to overdo it with the concealer. I don't mind if you can see it a little bit, but just kind of minimize the redness of everything. I'm going to get a little brush, and then we're just going to very slowly tap around, which I've done before. This is how I tend to do it. So if you've watched any of my videos before, then you probably kind of know this little technique. But again, it's just very light around to help kind of keep that coverage. And sometimes as well, depending on how bad I find it is, I'll just go a little bit light with my finger, just so it's still kind of there in the middle. And then again, just work your way around. Next, with that concealer, I'm just going to put it slightly under the eyes a little bit, just to get that little bit more coverage there. But again, the overall base is nice and light. So I don't tend to use much like foundation or anything anyway, but especially if you do use foundation, it can get quite heavy. And the idea is to make everything like as fresh as possible. I'm just going to use the pointy end of my beauty blender and just very lightly pat. So next we're going to go into cream products, and the cream products are actually going to be the main focus of this look to try and keep that fresh, dewy sheen into your skin. So apart from a little bit of powder to hit the set areas or the main areas, and again this will be different for everyone else, we're not going to be using any kind of powder bronzer or any powder blush. It's just going to be focusing on the cream. So first off is now with my broken lid, we're going to go into our cream bronzer like we always do. I'm kind of enjoying using this brush at the moment and just slowly tapping it. And again, I do differ how I go about it. Sometimes I'll do a line with my fingers and then blend, but I want this to kind of again go right into the skin. And with the moisturizer that we've got, it should hopefully blend a lot more seamlessly than if you hadn't put any cream on, especially if your skin can quite dry in these winter months. Mine can definitely. So having that extra layer of moisturizer within your other makeup products really helps keeping it fresh, clean, and blend like a dream. So once we've done that, I'm actually going to go into cream blush or liquid blush, and I'm actually going to mix two colours together. This one's quite peachy, which I like to use more spring, summer, and this is more the light one for a more lighter coverage and more in the winter. So I'm actually going to mix the two together to kind of make a mix of the two. So then it kind of hopefully gives a bit more of a natural colour and a natural blush to the skin. And as you can see, a little bit more muted and a nice kind of colour to the skin. That's hopefully going to be a bit more of a natural pigmentation, and because I'm transferring it from my hand to the brush then onto my face, it shouldn't be as heavy, whereas normally I apply it straight to the face, and I find when you apply it straight to the face with these particular ones, they go a lot, it's very pigmented anyway, but it just goes right in your face, and then I just blend it out. But I like a lot of blush, so that's why I tend to do it that way. But this way it just kind of again mutes it a little bit for you, just makes it look a little bit more natural, a bit more of a natural pinkness in the colour to the skin. And then the remainder that I have on the brush, I'm just going to tap around the nose, and I'm going to pop it a little bit more there, so it's kind of like it's cold outside, your nose goes a little bit pink, so I'm just going to do the remainder on there, so it's not, again, not too overpowering, it's not overly obvious that you've just popped a bit of blush onto your nose, but that's just to make that little cute little redness there. And hopefully you can still see where you've got that natural sheen just going across the cheek without it looking obvious that you put on a bit of highlighter. You kind of want it to make it look like your skin's got that natural glow. So that's why we're focusing mainly on the cream products. However, we are going to go into a little bit of powder, mainly for myself because I can get a little bit too oily there. So if I don't put anything on, especially with some moisturizer, then it's just over the day just going to get ridiculously shiny and my makeup's just going to melt off. But depending on your skin type will depend if you feel that you need this. Again, everyone is completely different on how they work, but I'm just going to focus on the T-zone. So starting off under the eye as I would normally, very lightly tap, and I'm not putting on as much as I would normally, so everything's just a lot lighter with the amount that you're putting on, a lot lighter with the coverage, and taking your time with it. And then with anything left, just pat around the edges very lightly, but we don't want to touch where the cream bronzer and the cream blush is, because we want to again keep it as natural as possible, but we just still want to set in the face a little bit. I'm just going to do my eyebrows as normal. So again, I'm just going to use my brush to brush them up, then I'm going to use the glue stuff and then just draw them in slightly. Nothing changes with that, and eyebrows are so specific, so I'm just going to quickly do that off camera and then get right back. So now we're going to move on to mascara. So I'm actually going to use a brown mascara. The reason I'm going to do this, I normally just use my regular e.l.f. or Maybelline Sky High when it comes to mascara, the black one. But because we're trying to go for an everyday, no makeup kind of makeup look, kind of looking again a bit more glowy, a little bit more dewy, I want to go for something that looks a lot more natural, looks a lot more like your own eyelashes, but just kind of still gives you that little bit of length and a little bit of volume around your eyes to keep that nice frame around the eyes, if that makes sense. I hope it does. You can use any type of brown mascara that you want. I just got a quick 17 one because I wanted to give it a go, because I don't normally do brown mascara, but I've seen it a lot recently and I really like it, so we're going to give it a good go. And what I did was I did my top lashes first, and I'm going to do the tiniest bit on the lower lashes, because again we want it to look quite natural, so we don't want them to look overly long or overly thick, as that's not how it would look naturally. So I'm just kind of dabbing it onto the lashes, more so than doing strokes, just to get a little bit of the product onto the lower lashes without it going overboard. Nice. Okay, so lastly we are going to do a lip, but again trying to keep it as natural as possible. So I'm actually only going to use a lip liner just to give a little bit more colour to the lip. I have got a little bit of lip balm on, which I'm just going to get a little bit of the excess off, so it's not overly sticky when I put on the lip liner. I use my Revolution one, as I always do, which would have given a good sharpen. It's a shuffle there because the colour's called Chauffeur, which was the next thing I was going to say. So again, we're just going to slowly outline the lips, and again, depending if you overline or not, but we're just going to do it a little bit. We just want to get a little bit of pigmentation into the lips without it going overboard. And then just to make sure it's blended seamlessly, I'm actually going to use this brush, which I use to obviously spot conceal. Then we're just going to do a little bit of a buffer across the lip. And then just to finish it off, to make sure, just so it looks like we got that moisture back in, I'm going with a little bit of my lip balm, which is just the Body Shop one, which I have a little bit on the finger, and then just dab. So you don't want to get any of the colour off. So I'm just dabbing a little bit, again, just to get a bit of that moisture back in, as we just used a lip liner rather than like a satin lipstick or a gloss of any sort. And there you have it. This is our everyday reset, refresh, looking fresh kind of makeup-y, no makeup look. I hope you like it. It's just very simple, it's very to the point. Please ignore this little breakout that I have. Just for anyone, if you have very sensitive skin like me, don't use cheap products when it comes to your skincare, because I was doing really well. I bought some skincare that was doing great, and then I bought something else. It was cheap, cheerful, and my skin has not liked it, and now it's taking a while for these breakouts to actually go. So just, you know, learn from me. Don't make the same mistakes as me. But then there you have it. Every day, no makeup look, trying to look fresh, ready for the new year. And what's great with these as well is those kind of slick backed looks. I've done more of a softer slick back look rather than putting a load of mousse or hairspray or gel in it. I've just kept it middle part in, bring it back. It's just out of the way, but not too like neat and in your face. So it just looks very, very natural. But yeah, I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. As always, if you do, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate when everyone does, and I read the comments of those who do, and I just appreciate, if I can get my words out, as always, anyone who does choose to take time out of their day to watch my videos. I do really appreciate it. But yeah, I hope you all had a wonderful new year. Hope you're enjoying your first week in January, and I will see you in the next one.